Hello, welcome back to
Perfect.
another infamous episode of the Full Circle podcast. I am your co-host Jamie, joined here by Mitchell. Mitchell, how are you doing today?
I'm alright. How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm alright.
That's alright then. So
You alright?
Mitchell, yeah, I'm alright. Thank you for
Alright.
asking. How's your day been? Has it been
That's
alright?
alright. It's been alright. How's your
That's
day been?
You know what, it's been quite alright.
Alright.
So I've started to learn some magic tricks as a little pastime.
Okay.
Just bored in isolation, stuff like that. I can do
Yeah.
card tricks, illusions, and dice tricks so far. But there's one trick that I'm struggling to perfect, and that's the pulling a rabbit out of my hat. But even though I can't pull a rabbit from my hat, I can pull a hair from my ass.
You're annoying.
Another classic joke there.
Another.
Illustrious joke,
Alright.
some would say.
Now that no one's listening, let's begin.
Yeah, so last night I had a bit of an epiphany, right? I,
Okay.
I, I truly believed I had figured out religion. I've solved it, all right?
He sold religion.
And,
Religion. Every religion. All of religion.
and let me just put this out there as a little precursor. Obviously, I don't know what created the universe. I don't know if there is a God, if there isn't. I personally don't actually know myself.
But
This
you
is
figured
just
it out.
coming from a very scientific uh, kind of view of it. So, yeah. So I've been reading a book called *Sapiens*, which is about like human colonization and how you came from kind of like animals to civilized beings, and it's going back, and like the bit I'm reading at the moment is about the agriculture revolution, and it was basically saying about how tribes would have to have like a single person or a tribe couldn't manage more than 150 people because at that point too many individualities and kind of different perspectives get involved. And this book kind of says that religion, or not just so religion, but kind of these religious ideologies were set up so then that way you can control people all around the world just from one book. Is it making sense so far, right?
I'm
Um,
following.
so for me, after reading this, I've been pondering on it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like, it's weird to think about, and it's interesting. And then I kind of started thinking about like how people, on the high street or even back in the day, through market stalls, would kind of spread the Lord's word. You always see people with leaflets like, "Come and join our church, come and join our mosque," all that.
hmm
Then I started thinking, so like, ponder on this for a minute.
I'm
What
pondering.
if the Lord, like, say, let's just talk about Christianity for now, okay?
Okay.
So let's say God, the Lord,
Just for the sake, that's the one like we're most
yeah,
um familiar with.
and also we do base our calendar off it, so it did kind of win. Sorry, other religions. Um,
You say that, but like that's only Western civilization. Like China has a completely different calendar. So I think a few other different countries do as well.
Yeah, but China's just a write-off anyway. I don't want anything to do with that country. Not out of a
All
racist
right.
point of view. I'm just very scared. But we'll get onto that
Just out
later.
of fear.
Just out of
Yeah.
fear. And it's all so if we're focusing on the Christian God, right? It's all about how like the God is not like say this all-knowing, all-powerful being in the sky or wherever they portray him to be, but yet like God and the Lord is more of like a metaphor for yourself. To get this right. So, in the Bible it says, love the Lord and the Lord will love you. And, do good to the Lord and the Lord will do well to you. And it's, I'm not saying all religious people, but most religious people who live a dedicated religious life are much nicer, sometimes, maybe not all the time, happier people, but they live a very well put together life on good morals, you know. So it's all about
Okay.
how, like, going back to this tribe mentality and how, they were trying to set up for a better future for, everyone to be the best version of themselves. And that's what religion's about as well, being the best version of you, not just for you, but for God and for everyone else involved in the world. So it's all about how, like, the Lord is not actually the Lord, but it's actually just your drive to be better. So when like it's speaking about love the Lord and be good to the Lord, it's being good to yourself, making yourself a better person, being a better person, like doing better things, which makes you feel better anyway. So when you're doing all these things and you think it's for the Lord, then you carry on doing them, and then you do see your life start to go in a better direction. But really, like, religion was kind of there as like a cover blanket to kind of be like, hey, yeah, there's someone in control. Like, you can stop like worrying about all these unanswered questions you're gonna have about the universe if you focus on the Lord, which is really just focusing on yourself. And I don't know, it's just more of like not believing everything like say the Bible says, but believing in yourself and getting more insight to who you are. And that's kind of why every religious person will tell you their relationship to God is different, through individuals. But yeah, I kind of had this thought.
So, are you saying that billions of people are interpreting religion wrong?
I'm not saying it, I'm just putting that theory out there.
All right.
What do you think of it?
Um, I mean, I disagree when you said that most religious people are nicer because, in my experience, religion, well, not in my personal experience, but from what I've seen throughout the world, religion is a big problem a lot of the time.
Mm.
It's a big, and
It's a
this
big
could
factor in
possibly
every war.
go into one of our next subjects. It's a big divider of people.
Yeah.
Like, at, like at the begin, like the grassroots of it all is we're all humans. We're all Earthlings. We're from Earth. Like, this is our home. We're all from the same ancestors, whatever. Then religion comes about and splits you. It splits you up. It creates a divide. It's like, oh, they don't believe what I believe, so they're not like me. I won't look after them. I'll look after my people before they come before they do, sort of
I,
thing.
I do agree that religion does emphasize the kind of us or them animalistic instinct that we all have. I believe it does emphasize that point to a certain degree. I also believe that, personally, I can say that most religious people, dedicated, true religious people, are better people. Not because they're religious, just by the morals and the ethics they live by. But obviously, that's not accounting all of them because everyone is so different. And, religious people, I mean, you got the Pope and then you got Hitler. Hitler was religious. So, and the Pope's probably not all that good either. So, it's a
Yeah,
grey
the Catholic
area.
Church has great history.
But this does lead on to our next topic. And it's kind of
But
about how, like, we've just made that mistake there of not
but I
stereotyping.
don't want to move on quite yet
Oh,
because I
go
still
on,
have
go on,
some
go on.
questions. So um, I just definitely forgot what I was going to ask. So you're saying, not putting words into your mouth, but you're suggesting that people that follow a religion have better morals than someone who wouldn't because of the way they think they should act because of what they think's right in the eyes of their god.
Yes
Not
and
like
no.
if we take out the extremists like
Yeah.
KKK, ISIS, all these
Yeah.
cunts like the fucking Westboro Baptist Church, Al Qaeda.
This goes on.
Um,
RIA.
yeah, I think that's more of like a
No, they're still
political rather than religious.
okay.
But I don't know too much about the
Leave it to
IRA.
it. Neither
It's
do
too
I.
hard to say.
We'll,
It's
we'll,
too
we'll,
hard to say.
we'll stay off that topic before we get
Yeah, it's
ourselves
too
into
hard to
more
say.
shit. But yeah, to answer your question, yes and no. I do believe it makes people a better person, but not because of the religion itself, because it does bring structure and organization and kind of
Okay.
a reason to live. Not a reason to live, but a bigger meaning to it all. But not just because of
Yeah.
religion, because you're doing, like, do you know what I mean? Structure and organization's beneficial to
Yeah.
everyone. I don't believe it's the religion, but I believe what they're doing within the religion has very, very good benefits.
Okay.
So yeah,
So, but people who don't have religion can still have this structure, though.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm not just
It's
saying
just
you
in
have to be
different ways.
religious to live a
Do you
better
think it?
life.
Are you saying that it just helps a lot of people towards a better life, but
Yeah, it just
some
brings.
people don't need it?
Yeah, I don't believe that everyone
Okay.
needs religion. It's a personal choice. You believe what you believe. But I do believe that all religions, or most religions, bring a structure and a kind of determination and makes internal growth within people, you know. And that's
Yeah.
why I kind of had this theory about the Lord not being the Lord, but instead being like you, and like you are the Lord. And if you're the Lord, you can conquer all, you can do what you want, but all you got to do is like believe in yourself and put the hard work in.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah, any more
And
questions?
like most religions, if not all, promote peace in like the mainstream part of it. Like we said, there is extremists on both sides, peaceful and not peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
They just, but then that go like, all right, going more into this, what says they are interpreting the religion wrong? Because it's how they interpret it.
It's very true. Yeah, everyone
Because
interprets.
it just they're wrong because as like a human race, it goes against our morals, like a lot of the things that extremist groups do. But that's just the way they interpret it because they think we're wrong, or like other religious people are wrong for interpreting a holy book or holy scripture in that way.
Yeah, but then it's
So
still
it's just an ethical problem
yeah, it's still
rather
no
than a religious
justification to
problem.
go around like killing people. Like just because you think it's right doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like they might think they are justified because in their interpretation it says anyone that doesn't agree with us is wrong and they should be killed
yeah,
because that's just
true.
their
But that's just
interpretation of it.
different perspectives, though. And on a whole, if you're killing someone else or harming someone else or just doing cunty things, religious or not, it makes you a bad person.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not on the sides of extremists. I'm just saying, I'm just asking the question. Like, who are we to say they're interpreting it wrong?
No, yeah, no, 100%. Like, how do we like know that like killing people
Yeah,
isn't like a
yeah,
natural form of life which we're all meant to kind of partake in?
yeah.
Like, it's just through years of like moral and ethic codes that we've had it built into us that that's wrong. And in our civilization today, it is wrong. But then who are we to say that? We're not God, in a sense.
Well,
But
I
in
thought
my
it was.
theory, you are God, so.
All right. So, religion, good or bad, interpret it your own way.
Just don't
Just
be a
don't kill
cunt.
us.
Just don't be a cunt.
Yeah, that's just a life rule rather than a religion thing. But circling back to it being a factor that could potentially separate a lot of people from other people, right now, as of 4th of June, yeah, there's currently protests slash riots going on in America. There's protests also that has been protests in the UK focused around the Black Lives Matter movement.
Hmm.
Again, race for me, race is just another thing that the government slash media use to divide us. Even though in a lot of people it's something that is very apparent when you look at them at a surface level, but it shouldn't be something that defines us.
No.
Like like I said, the thing that makes us who we are is that we're human. We're all the same. It's just a different pigmentation,
Yeah, it's
and
literally.
that is something that constantly gets pushed to divide us. Like in the newspaper, I always use this example. Um, in the newspaper, black person robs a white person. The headline is likely to be black man robs young white woman or innocent white woman. If a white person robs a black person, it'll be fucking like something like their job or their favorite pastime. It'd be like an accountant hits man in hit and run, but he's the best in his company, so he's getting let off. Is
Yeah.
what the verdict would be.
Yeah.
And
No. The.
it's a big thing that's happening, and like the protests and not the riots are more of a difficult situation topic, but the protests that are going on, they're largely peaceful, and it shows how many people can come together to fight like a really important topic.
Yeah.
Like
Because.
and it's good to see that so many people of different races are joining in with the Black Lives Matter movement. And when it comes to certain people, they're trying to counter it with all lives matters, and it's weird because you see Ashton Kutcher, like he's like a real like activist since he stopped acting. Like he does a lot of stuff. I think he was involved with taking down like sex trafficking and stuff like that. And he recently put out a video on Instagram talking about it, and he's basically saying that because the people who say all lives matters, they shouldn't be cancelled. They should be educated
Mm,
because they're just not understanding what Black Lives Matters means. Like it doesn't mean just Black Lives Matter. It means Black Lives Matter as well.
mm-hmm.
Because people are saying Black Lives Matter because it's as if they don't.
Yeah.
Because all lives do matter, of course they do. But at the moment, it's as if Black lives do not matter. So we need to push to make sure that people know that they matter because they've always mattered and they always will matter, and that's what something that people need to realize. And it's so ignorant when people are like, oh well, all lives matter. Like just because I'm white, it doesn't mean my life doesn't matter. It's like it does, but can you not see what's happening?
Yeah. You're just literally you're not looking at the situation. You're just looking at something that you can get
You're
defensive about.
yeah.
And
But like, don't get me wrong. When Black Lives Matters first came around, I don't know, I was like 15 or 16 or something. I can't remember how long ago it like became like a real big thing. But like when I first heard it, my first thought was, oh, but my life matters. So what does that mean? But then I just grew up and looked into it more and understood what it actually meant.
mm,
Then I realized how ignorant I was. But that that was because I was ignorant because I was a young kid. But like you get like 40-year-old people fucking still saying all lives matters and all shit like this, and it's like you're just missing the point.
yeah, I saw
And
him.
it's just sad to see because sorry to cut you off, but like their kids are gonna grow up in that kind of environment, you know?
Yeah, it's never breaking the chain. It's never, and that's like the video I saw this morning was on Instagram. Was at a UK protest. I believe it was
Yeah,
somewhere in central London, and they're walking past a white police officer, and they're saying, you know, Black Lives Matter, and he's just kind of nonchalantly just like, well, all lives matter, and it's like
yeah,
how, like you're literally here in the midst of the protest, seeing the worldwide, global kind of shitstorm at the moment going on surrounding the whole situation, and you're still being so in denial about it, and you're still getting so like, because this a lot of people do this, especially in arguments, and it's very apparent now. Everyone takes it kind of to a personal level,
yeah.
and they don't see the actual situation, the whole severity of it. They just see, well, these people are attacking me. This group, this activist, this whatever, they're personally attacking me. So when, you know, these idiots are saying all lives matter in rebellion to a Black Lives Matter protest, they're just taking it as a personal level and getting
I think
defensive over nothing because they're seeing it as, well, what about my life? And it's like, well, you know, like you've had white privilege, and I never really believed in white privilege up to quite recently. I thought, well, you know, I'm white, and what privilege have I have? But even
Yeah.
in London, such a we spoke about diverse, multicultural, multi-ethical place, we're privileged just with the fact that we're white skinned, and
We probably like this is the thing, like it's not about us at the moment. Like we probably get privilege that we don't even notice because we don't like people probably experience discrimination that we never will, but because we don't notice that we're not getting discriminated against, we'll never notice it because we just think that's how it is normally. But there's people out there that get discriminated on certain things that we won't.
like we will never
And
even see it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And like what people need to realize is at the moment it's not about you.
Hmm.
Like and that's what people can't fathom. It's like, oh, well, I'm not the most important person in this
Yeah,
situation, then
literally,
it
literally.
must be against me.
Yeah, it's like how
And like a
dare
lot,
you say that I'm not the fucking king of the world?
and what a lot of people also don't get is pro-black is not anti-white.
Yeah,
Like they're not asking for more; they're asking for the same.
yeah. They're just asking for a basic human right to be treated the same as everyone else and not judged on a predetermined factor like skin color that they can't choose or change.
It was similar to when gay marriage was trying to get legalized. Like people were saying, "Oh, like this is a violation," blah blah blah. It's like no, they're just asking for the same rights that you have.
Yeah, they're
Like
not
if
trying to take away your straight marriage rights. They're just trying to do what anyone can do. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and it's like if you don't want equality, then what do you want? Do you want
Hmm.
slavery to come back? Like, is that what you want? Do you
And
want to
it's
keep this group of humans oppressed forever? Like I don't get why you wouldn't want equality.
yeah, it's
Like
literally because
it boggles my mind.
it's just because people
Especially
do want
like
to
as
live
an
in an
adult,
old-fashioned world where
people hate change. People hate change.
yeah,
But it's
100%.
like as an adult, it 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 like it it confuses me that people just don't get it, you know? Like as
Mm.
old people that are older than me that have more life experience, it's like how have I realized something in 21 years that you haven't in 40, 50 years?
And not even in 21 years, in like the past 4, 5 years, in like your
Yeah,
case. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, and it's like you've spoken about this on our platform about how you kind of grew up with not like a racist family, but a very stuck in the ways
Racist
family.
area, school and
Yeah,
stuff.
but like that's what I mean. You kind of broke the mold for yourself, so why can't everyone break the mold for them? You know,
Because they don't want to.
yeah. It's like I had a privileged growing up of uncles, cousins, like all my family. Like I can go to any country in the world and meet a cousin. I've got family everywhere. I've got family that looks different. So I'm privileged with the fact that I kind of grew up with such a embedded acceptance that I never had to really go through the thought processes or the. Do you know what I mean? Like from very early on, it was just embedded. Like, okay, this is my cousin. He's black. This is my other cousin. He's brown. This is my other cousin. And he's white and ginger. But they're all my cousins, and I love them equally. You
Yeah.
know, apart from the ginger one because he's a cunt. But
Because he's ginger.
I'm joking. We don't have gingers. Um,
But it's like I think people like racism and discrimination is taught. It's not you're not born with it.
no, 100%. It's definitely taught. If you put a kid from every country in the world in a class, they would just grow up to love each other. They wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? They're not
But
going
I
to
don't
grow
know.
up and at playtime
They would
like
hate each other for personal reasons, not things they can't change about themselves.
exactly, exactly. And have you seen the John Boyega speech yet?
I haven't watched all of it, no.
It's very, very powerful. Probably the most
Yeah.
powerful speech I've seen maybe
Uh,
all my life. And
do
like,
you know what's baffling about that as well? Like the fact that he thinks he's risking his career for speaking out on this matter, and I
yeah,
can't remember who said it. It might have been a YouTuber or something, but there was like, if this shouldn't ruin his career. If anything, you should stop pandering to racists
yeah, literally.
in the industry.
But yeah,
Like
no,
if
100%.
you think having him in your movie from because of what he said, will make less people watch it, then that says something about the people who you're making the movie for.
Well, I never realized that when The Force Awakens was released in
Oh yeah, this is
Asia.
dodgy, innit?
I can't remember, but it was an Asian country. You could tell by
It
the
was China.
text. Yeah, John Boyega just weren't on the poster.
Because China is such a big country, it obviously makes a lot of money for cinema. So
Yeah,
they
but he's
thought,
literally one of the main characters of the new franchise. But let alone that film, especially, he was the main. Like him and Ray were the main characters. It's like,
well, so China like also doesn't like having skulls and stuff on promote in like films and stuff. So in the Black Widow film, Taskmaster, Task Taskmaster, who's the main villain in the comics, his like mask is just 100% a skull.
hmm
But in the from what we've seen from the trailers, his mask is doesn't look. It's obviously supposed to be like a skull, but it's not obviously a skull. They've changed it, and people think it's because of the Chinese censors. Because China have a lot of people, so they sell a lot of tickets,
yeah,
and it's stuff like that that they like. This is the thing: corporations they only care about money.
yeah,
Like like every corporation right now is thinking we got to do something to support Black Lives Matter. And there's two types of corporations. One who's only thinking, all right, this will make us money, and this will make people like us.
and it's
Then
also to
there's other corporations that the heads of these corporations genuinely believe in the cause and they want this to be pushed.
yeah because
But there's also some that are a mix of two.
the organization that wants to make money as well is kind of not just there to make money. It's kind of like, oh, well, it's like in their mind, it's like, oh, well, it's the next trend. We got to do this. You know what I mean? They don't
It's like
do it for like
it's
we have to do this. Like, why are we not supporting this? It's like, oh, we should put that out there. We'll get a few likes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like we'll do it or we get cancelled. It's not because we want to do it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
going,
for Pride Month, they all changed their logos to rainbow colors, and it's like, okay, I get that you're supporting them, but what are you actually doing within the LGBTQ community that are helping them out?
hmm
You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna support it properly, especially as a huge corporation.
yeah, 100%.
Like, they have money to put into good causes.
And that's
So
like with going back to the John Boyega speech. Both Disney and Star Wars have both tweeted him saying, "We back you fully, all the way. Do not
yeah,
worry."
yeah.
Disney, I believe, has donated like up to $5 million to black kind of activist campaigns and stuff like that. I'm not too sure on the exact charity, but it might be to a big wide range of charities, and a lot of corporations are doing good deeds like that.
All
That
right.
will,
Again, though, Walt Disney was a public anti-Semite.
yeah, but he's dead now, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like that's why originally the people made the companies in their own name. So then if you've done something wrong personally, they couldn't attack you, but they could attack the company and vice versa. And that way, like even if your company went bankrupt, you could be rich. That's what happened with the whole
Yeah.
kind of limited, like companies becoming limited. So I mean, it's hard because like you can't judge America on Trump. You can just judge America on Americans, and like everything in America happening at the moment is so. It's good to see. It's very good to see that protests are happening and people are not letting this one go, which is very good. But it's also a lot of things are going away around in the wrong way, and a lot of things are happening that shouldn't be happening on both sides of the police and the protesters.
Right. So talking about the police, like the way they're like attacking protesters, it looks like there's gonna be a civil war.
100%,
Obviously, we
100%.
don't
There's
know
going to be
like the political components that go into an actual civil war, but surface level, it looks like the people versus the government. And if it does escalate that far, it will be like the first civil war in America, the people who want equality versus the people who don't want equality.
Yeah, and it's
And it
like,
would be
didn't we have
interesting to
this
see.
war 200 years ago? Why are we having it now? Like,
Yeah,
why is this? Like, this is what I always say. Like, racism is stupid, but I don't just mean, oh, it's stupid. Like, let's not look into. I mean, it is fucking stupid. If you're a racist, you're stupid because
yeah.
why is just someone else looking different? Everyone looks different to you. Everyone in the world looks different to you. Even if you have a twin identical sibling, there will be something that they look different on. You know, I don't get why just because someone's of different skin color, why does it fucking matter? Why does it matter?
It's
Just get on with your own life. Just get on
and
with
when
fucking
people,
being the best person you can, and just talking to everyone. And I've said this to you the other day. Well, I'm walking down from my flat to my auntie's house. It's like a good 2.5 mile walk. It was a very sunny day. I was in a great mood, so I was smiling at everyone on the street. Not one white person smiled back. Every black person smiled back to me. And like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And you're like, even from just that alone, that situation alone, why are you racist and why are you discriminating against black people? Because even in just that situation, they're fucking nicer. One guy gave me a thumbs up. Do you know what I mean? But every white person just looked at me like, what the fuck does he want? I'm just
yeah,
smiling.
but you, but this is reverse racism, if that's the term I'm looking for. Like you're judging that small group of black people on the whole race, and you're saying that black people are nice. They're all nicer.
No, no, I was just
You
saying
can't
in
say
that
that. That's
situation.
the
I
same as
said in that
saying,
situation.
oh, okay,
But I know what you mean because well, this is what I said earlier on. Like we all do. We all generalize. We all because it's easier to put everyone in the net and see all their individual flaws and perks and whatever. It's just a way our brain helps cope with understanding the vast nature of how many people there are and how big the planet is. You know, but it's like that. Yeah, that is something kind of embedded with us, but that doesn't mean we have to be racist. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, that doesn't mean we have to discriminate against people who just look different. I don't fucking get it. It's like, so what? Is there going to be, like, racist people? Like, is it just race or is it going to be like hair color? Like, why is it just skin color? Why don't you focus on other stuff? Why don't you attack people that all wear leather jackets? Because
because that's what
it's
the media has put out, and the government want us to
yeah, but it's
discriminate
no,
against because
no, yeah, I agree. The
it's
media is a
large
big part to play,
populations.
but no, it's not for everything. Racism comes down to personal belief. You can't. Yeah, it's
Yeah, but where
been.
do they get that them personal beliefs from?
Yes, it's been
It's what they've
funded,
got
and
been taught.
you've seen it on the media.
And
But it
I was
comes
gonna
to a
bring up like,
point where even you said like you had to change your personal belief. It comes to a point
yeah,
where you need to think, all right, I need to look into this. I want to know what's happening, and I need to figure out for myself what is right and what's wrong.
yeah. So what I was gonna bring up is like people say, oh, like it's just that part of their generation, and what I want to say to that is because like say someone who grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they didn't have even like 80s, 90s, like they didn't have the resources to search why racism is stupid, but now they do, and now they have a chance to change their views.
Hmm.
Like
Like we
people
literally
go,
have the world in our pocket. Like the whole world's history, we can just get up our phone and Google it.
yeah,
And I know it's
but it's
just
like people are
it's
just stuck in their ways. They don't want to change.
yeah, it's like saying a guy who lived in Germany during the 1940s, and even now he's still a racist, anti-Semite bigot. It's like, oh well, he's stuck in his ways. It's just his generation.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
like no, fuck off. Like that's what I mean. Like I honestly do agree with you, and I do believe that the media influences us in such a negative way, and it does try and divide us. But it does come down to a personal belief and a personal integrity that you as an individual need to figure out and sort and realize that racism is stupid and you're just being a petty little cunt. Literally all it
Um,
is.
so one of Gump's Trump's like ex governors or something.
Gumps.
He was
I just imagine that's what Trump and his government officials WhatsApp groups called.
the
Just
Gumps.
crumbs. Sorry, go on.
So one of these people, they said that they just um compared him to Hitler and the Nazis, and you can see where he's coming from. Like he's using fear and like manpower to shut down freedom of speech.
Mate, even martial
And
law, Hitler done that.
you
Like,
you see videos of undercover police going around and inciting riots.
yeah,
Like they
and
start going around and smashing windows. But
because
like the people that are actually rioting, they don't want to. The people that are protesting, they don't want to riot. They're there for a peaceful protest. And like you see videos of like they're called Antifa. They're like people. They're basically like an anti-fascist group. But
mhm,
like some of them are going around smashing stuff up and putting graffiti, and you see people in the black community going up to them and being like, "Stop that!" Because they're not gonna blame this on you.
yeah,
Like you're
exactly.
white, you're gonna spray all this, and it's gonna get blamed on us and make us look bad.
There's a
And
big,
this is when
big
the difference
difference.
between people that are protesting because they believe in it and the people that are protesting leading to rioting because they either opportunistic looters or they think that's what they need to do. Like as a white person, I'm not gonna try to understand because I will never understand. All I can do is listen and show my support. And all I can think is like these white people that are going out and rioting and looting, all I can think is them trying to understand, oh, if this was me, I'd be so angry I'd go smash up this building. But they don't understand the dynamics of it all because they will smash up this building in this area, this black community, then go back to their white community and be fine and hear nothing of it, maybe just maybe see it on the news. But these people in these black communities where they're protesting because that's where they live, their community will get destroyed. Then later on the police will be like, oh, look at this horrible neighborhood that they've destroyed it. Then like black owned businesses are getting destroyed. Like it's protest for what you believe in, but don't riot.
Yeah,
Like I know riots are very like poignant and it gets people attention, but at the end of the day, be cautious of where you're rioting because yeah, like it doesn't matter if you destroy a Starbucks or a Target or like these fucking big corporation store, but if you see a little shop that you don't really recognize the name of, don't destroy it because it's likely owned by a family that
yeah,
this is their main source of income. Or just like I saw a picture of someone putting up like notes on their windows of in big writing like this is owned by a single mother. This is my only source of income for my, and that's just feeding a family. But like there's others that it's too late for and people have destroyed their front windows and looted their stores.
yeah.
Like you
Destroyed
just
lives.
like the cause is just, but the action isn't.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
This was,
be mindful of what you're doing. Like don't mindlessly destroy. Like if you are gonna loot and it's just because you're an opportunistic looter, then loot things that you want to loot. Don't just destroy small businesses.
yeah,
Obviously, don't loot because it's just against the law, and if
it's
you get
just
caught, you're
stealing.
going to get
Yeah,
arrested, and it's just going to cause even more problems. But
that's what I
just
mean. Because
don't destroy people's small businesses.
a lot of people, or not a lot, but some people, let's say, have used this movement to kind of be opportunistic and just like so they don't really believe in the movement, but they just want to get out and destroy things and then in their mind they're like, well, I help with the protest. I help with the protest.
Yeah, it's like you've seen these influencers who are taking pictures by the stuff. Like there's this one girl. This guy's boarding up like this building, and she's asked to take a picture of her pretending to drill. And there's this other girl who's taking a picture looking at all this shattered glass, broken glass, obviously just for Instagram.
Yeah, and then they just
And
get
it's
back in
like,
their Uber
yeah, literally, one
XL.
of them, they get back in their Mercedes and drive off. And it's like, you are part of the problem.
100%,
If you
100%.
think this
Yeah,
is like, it's like before when we was talking, the other, like a couple podcasts ago when we were talking about depression, this Black Lives Matter is not an accessory. It's a real life problem.
Yeah,
Don't treat it like
it's not a hashtag. It is an actual thing. Like that
yeah,
needs to be resolved and actually worked on, not just by the police and the government, like by everyone. Everyone individually has to make an effort, and in that way, we can grow to be better. And that's what in John Boyega's speech he says, like, let's make this as peaceful as possible. Let's give him
yeah.
no just cause. Let's fucking kill him with kindness. And that's like killing with kindness is my favorite saying ever, because it works so well. And like as a kid, you hear it and you're like, oh, it's just cliche. But in my
Yeah.
life experience, I've found that it does work. Like I found it with petty things like my job, like with aggravated customers or customers who are just chatting shit. Just literally being so kind to them aggravates them. They don't know what to do, and then they just piss off. And like you're not arguing. You're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know I should change that. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Have a lovely day and all that shit. And it literally does work. And killing with kindness is such an impactful thing because it's, hey, you want to show just by brute force that you can do stuff. No, that doesn't work. Like, it's all about, like, yeah, we could have a big world war, but what does it solve? Nothing.
Oh, stop Hitler.
Yeah, it stops Hitler, but it didn't stop the whole ideology behind it, did it?
No.
Anti-Semitics are still as prevalent
Nazis are still a
today,
thing.
yeah, as they were back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
one thing that makes me proud to be a Londoner is we did just have peaceful protests.
hmm
Like, it's a few days now, people have gone to protest in Hyde Park and other places. And from what I've heard, they've been completely peaceful. And I just hope that continues.
yeah, yeah, because
But we
we
have had
need
riots before. But when them riots happened in about 2011, I think it was, there was no protests before or very little protests. It was just quickly
it was just
straight to
straight to
rioting.
riot, yeah, and that was a very minuscule part of the country, and it got shut down very quickly. It was just
It wasn't because it was in London and Manchester and Liverpool.
no, that's what I
There was
mean. That's
riots
what I mean.
everywhere.
Sorry, it's a very like segregated parts. It weren't like a full-on country riot. It was, it was only happening in certain places, most prevalently like Croydon, um,
And Tottenham.
and Tottenham. Yeah, but yeah, it's hard because so many people are having the right discourse to go out and protest, and America are bringing in like curfews and that now, saying that if like you're
Yeah,
found out after
martial law.
like 8 or 9 o'clock or whatever, you will just get arrested or shot with rubber bullets. There's been so many documented cases over the past few days of innocent bystanders. Like literally, I saw one of like this girl. She was not in the protest, but she was coming out from like a convenience store near the protest, and they just shot her with a rubber bullet. And there was something like if it was an inch lower, it would have blinded her. And it's
Yeah,
like, what the?
you see these people that are getting shot in the head, yeah? The police are told to aim for the body and legs.
Mm,
Like there should be none of them getting no one should be getting shot in the head with a rubber bullet. Because it can be fatal.
mm.
People have been killed with rubber bullets.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
if that
Anything
hits you in
getting
the
pelted
eye,
at your head, whatever it's coming out of, at 40 miles per hour or whatever these speeds go up to, is more than enough. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if it hits you straight in the eye, that's going through your eye and into your brain and you're dead.
mate, even this girl, would it say if it hit her on the head, like, yeah, mate, that might have not killed her, but she could have fell back and hit the back of her head on a curb or on a wall and died from that. And it's
Yeah.
still, you killed her just why?
I think the worst thing I've seen is someone getting dragged for like a mile underneath a FedEx truck. Like it's so bad to see.
But going back to the protest, I do believe this will resolve in some kind of civil war because, especially in America, because I believe the government right now, what they're doing, they're going about it the whole wrong way, but that's just Trump for you. And Trump is just, he's not going to be able to, in his feeble mind, be able to combat it with a peaceful protest or peaceful demonstrations. So he just sees it as a mob mentality coming after him personally. And what he's going to do is just what he's doing now, sending out the military and martial law to keep the country under bay. But, mate, America outnumbers the military, the police, the government,
Everyone
all,
does.
yeah, like, and I think, I'm not sure if we said it on here, but most Americans have guns. So it's
Yeah.
probably not a war you want to start. And like now there's protests in all 52 states or 50 states, I can't remember which one it is. Um, and yeah, it's brilliant to see. And the most heartwarming video I saw was, I can't remember what state it was, but the sheriff of the town said, "Look, we're not fighting against you. We're walking with you." And he took off his badge. He started hugging people. He's like, "This is a protest, and we're with you. We're not stopping this protest. We're walking with you."
Right. So I want to. So what I've seen from stuff like that is people. When the media's there, these police they put down their shields, they kneel, they hug all these protesters, and as soon as the cameras go off, they tear gas and shoot them with rubber bullets, pepper spray, all this shit.
It's heartbreaking because
But
it's
it's the media controlling the narrative again. They're saying, oh look, the riots are calm, the police are with you, blah blah blah. But as soon as the cameras go away, pepper spray, fucking tear gas, you're out. Like go away. Like they It's like what's been going on in Hong Kong for fucking ages. Like over there, there's riots all the time. Like people are literally fighting the government over there. Like, well, they're not fighting, but they're trying to peacefully protest, and they're getting tear gas, pepper sprayed, whatever. It's like some of them are just getting straight up beaten up, and that's what's happening in America.
hmm
Like, Donald Trump makes China out to be this big bad wolf, but like, what's he then? Because he's not a lamb.
it's literally, there's no, like, in comparison to Kim-Jong Un and Donald Trump, there's no good or
That's
bad.
just not China, though.
Oh, sorry, that was very bad. Not my part. um, no, sorry, I was just thinking about that one. But with them, like the
What the
whole
other Asian man?
The
Okay.
North Korean and American conflict, it's always been like, oh, Trump's a hero, but like, no, they're both cunts. They're both
Yeah.
cunts. Like they're both the same person if you kind of look at it. Just, you know what I mean? If you kind of look at the fundamentals, they're both just men
Cunts.
who suffer with small dick syndrome running the country.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And it's just like I don't know. And there's so like, you see all the memes like, oh, 2020 is the maddest year, and it's getting real mad up in here. And
Fucking
there's so
Madeleine
much
McCann's shown her
news.
head.
Yeah, there's so much news that's kind of gone under surveillance because of all the bigger stuff happening. I mean, Madeleine McCann, just out of the blue, she's like, we've got a suspect. Today,
Yeah.
the latest news is that she's presumed to be dead, and that
Which
they
I could
believe,
have told you.
and that yeah, it's believed that they got. So it's a. I'm not sure if he's German, but he's in a German prison. He's a German prisoner.
Yeah.
He probably is
Yeah.
German, but
Unnamed.
yeah, he's the main suspect. They believe that he took her for sexual activities.
Being a paedophile.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a bit mad how this has all come out now, and it kind of brings up that conspiracy of like, once again, it's the media trying to
What
divert
they
us
hiding?
from, yeah, were the media trying to
But
divert us into something else? Or are they trying to? Is this just like a little lead that they're blowing up to try and once again direct the narrative and control the actual stories and feel like that they're in some kind of power again, if that makes sense.
it's like the thing is though with this coming out, yeah. If it's not the parents, then the whole of the UK have a lot of apologising to do to Kate and Jerry McCann.
Oh yeah, but
Because
mate, honestly,
if it wasn't them, everyone's blamed it on them. They're like,
yeah,
oh no,
but
you definitely done it.
it's still, it's
Which
only
we have
suspect.
we
Like if
have a
this
fair
is,
point to say that though, because they've acted so booky with this whole situation.
yeah, and unless it's fully revealed and proven that this guy acted solely and done it just out of a, I don't know, in just a sole act just on himself, and the parents weren't involved, and it's truly 100% proven, then that's when I'll believe it. But at the moment, it's still suspect. So for me, Jerry and Kate are still heavily involved in my personal belief of the situation because of
Well,
how they've
the
acted after it's happened, and how you see people who other cases with missing children and obviously everyone don't act the same, but on the way they present themselves on interviews and how they want justice
Oh,
is
just what she
just,
wrote about in her book.
yeah, it's just not the same that Jerry and Kate have acted. And yeah, speaking about the book, like she portrayed Madeline as kind of a possession. She spoke about weird stuff like
She
bathing
described
her.
she was like a perfect little genitals or something.
Yeah, oh, it was just so weird, and
But
they
the
do just
evidence they
look
have,
noncy. Like, I'm sorry, they do. They just look noncy.
is a suspicious phone call in that area, and that the guy's both his camper van and his Jaguar was also in the area around that time. Who's to say that Jerry and or Kate or one of their friends is not on the other side of that phone call?
Mhm. That's what I mean. It's still like for me,
Like,
I
I want
unless
him
it's
to
as I
release the
said,
phone
unless
call.
it's fully proven, I will always believe Jerry and Kate are heavily involved in their daughter's
Yeah,
disappearance.
because like, all right, try to get yourself in the mind of a paedophile. Won't be hard for you, but if you're this paedophile and you go into this room where there's a toddler and three kids, why would you only take the toddler
Yeah,
when you could have three?
that's always been my kind of thing. And also like,
Because like, say
wouldn't you
put
want as a
into a
pedophile, wouldn't
normal
you
person's
want the
perspective.
youngest kid as well? Like,
I don't know how pedophiles work though.
no, but like say
But
if there's
putting this into a
pedophiles.
normal perspective, if you go into a room with three women in it that you want to have sex with, and you could have sex with all of them,
I'm gonna have sex with
you'd
all of
pick
them.
all of them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just be like, do you know what? I just want that one.
It's just I don't know, and
So what I'm saying is, be a better paedophile.
be a smarter paedophile. Join us today. But no, it's so mad. Like because Madeleine McCann, I'm not sure like globally, but especially for UK, is probably the biggest missing person case of all time.
It's the most like infamous because of their parents, and it's just a dodgy situation.
Yeah,
But
and
like,
it we
I just hope, like from the beginning, I've hoped that she is dead because if she got taken for paedophilic like reasons,
intentions. Yeah,
it would just be suffering for years. Like I personally, like it's weird to say, but I'd prefer her to be dead. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
because
like
we
if
never
she
know if she's
lived
still
and got
alive and
sold,
literally.
then like it'd just break your heart because it was like this innocent little girl.
Yeah, like
You
literally for
know?
the past 15 years of her life or 14 years of her life, she could have been sold around from big time money nonce to big time money nonce. And just literally that, like, it is a possibility that that is what's happened. And she may be alive. You know, she's presumed dead, but that's because there's nothing been of her. But then we never know if she's in some guy's basement,
Do you know
you know?
there was like blood and hair, her blood and hair in the back of their car.
Yeah, and even like it's all that conspiracy is just so because they
There's
hired
so
that
much to
car the
it.
day after she went missing.
If you've never like if you've never read into the Madden McCann case, have a look because there's just so much to it. Like it's crazy, and like in the UK, it's kind of like a cultural phenomenon. Like
Mm,
everyone around our age, like growing up, you heard it when you was young, and you was like, "Oh, this little kid's gone missing." Like anyone seen Madeleine McCann? And then as you've grown up, it's like every a few years something will come up where like it's like new evidence or like um their parents are doing something weird.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just it's a weird thing, man. The world's a crazy place at the moment. Like fucking China and India are possibly on the brink of war.
that's what I was going to bring up as well with the kind
Like
of news that's been kind of not subliminally hidden, but just kind of gone under the radar because I've seen this, but I haven't seen it reported
the
that
thing is
China have made it into
anything that
India's
China
borders.
does. Anything that China does, it gets swept under the carpet. Like the education camps for Muslims that they're putting them in. Like
Mm,
that would just spread on. I only saw it because people that I follow on Instagram happened to be Muslim and they shared stuff about it because there was outrage that no one was doing anything.
no one's
Then
even
like,
talking about it. Do you know what I
but
mean?
from the one news article I read when it got a bit boring about the China India thing, but like apparently China and India have been kind of beefing for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're two
and
mega powers in the East. Of course,
India's not.
yeah, India's all right, not considered like a
In
superpower, but it's a mega power country. It's
No,
funded.
it's not.
Mate, India's a vastly big country.
They're big and they got a lot of people, but they're nowhere superpower.
No, no, I'm not saying they're a superpower. I'm saying they're a very big, rich country.
Are they rich?
Yeah, the rich are very rich. I'm not saying that it doesn't have poor
Don't know.
slums. We can all see that in documented cases, but mate, every big superpower, mega power, rich country has slums. You know what I mean? That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, I just don't think India's a rich country. No. They're not in the top 10.
Fair enough.
From what I'm just that's based I think that's how rich the people are in the country.
But
But
either way, yeah, it's weird news that kind of got hidden under the radar, and I mean, there's a lot of tension building. Coronavirus has literally been hidden from the media
yeah, who
a
cares about
lot.
that anymore?
Like, and it's still very prevalent issue that with, especially in America, where cases are skyrocketing still as we speak.
But,
Um,
but like, right, so my theory on coronavirus just being swept under the carpet is that even though they said they wasn't going to do it at the beginning of the pandemic, the government are going for herd immunity. They want as many people to get it so everyone gets the antibodies. That's why they're reopening the country. They're not going to reopen, there's going to be a second wave and bang, we're straight back into lockdown. They're going to reopen the country, there's going to be a second wave, and no one will even care because the news aren't reporting coronavirus deaths anymore.
mm,
But it's something, the way the world is this year is that in a month's time, something else is going to happen, and coronavirus is going to get pushed further and further back, and no one's going to care about it anymore. Like, even these Black Lives Matter protests, they might not matter. Well, they'll always matter, but like the media won't be reporting on them because there's something else will happen.
yeah,
But
and
it'll
that's
still be
that's how
going
the
on.
media works. Like, oh yeah, you remember that thing? Yeah, quickly forget about that. Focus on this new thing. Get hot about that for a while, and then we'll divert you into something else. And in that way,
Yeah,
like we're bringing up the issues, we're letting you judge them solely, and we're not giving you an opinionated view on them. No, no, we're not doing that.
yeah, I'm biased. I'm biased. But have you seen the video of the police car driving into protesters?
No.
So on CNN, I saw a comparison video on Reddit. On CNN, one of the biggest news like outlets in America, I think so.
Yeah.
That's just a
Yeah.
guess. I
No, no,
don't
you're
live in
right. Yeah,
America,
yeah,
but
you're right.
like I just assume because that's what I see.
No, CNN
Um,
and Fox News, I'd say the two biggest outlets in
yeah, and
America for news.
MSN or NSNBC. I don't know.
MSN, MSN, yeah.
No, MSNBC.
Oh, okay. I thought you just said MSN. I was like, yeah,
No, not
yeah.
the Watch Messenger. But
Anyway, yeah, we're derailing.
so the video on CNN shows the protesters throwing all kinds of stuff at this police cruiser, and it like drives into a bit of the crowd, and that's the end of the video. But the actual video is people throwing stuff on this car. It drives into them a bit. Then when it cuts off from CNN in the original video, the police car accelerates
Mm-mm.
and just hits loads of people. Well, not hits, but like pushes them out the way. But getting pushed by like an SUV, not gonna be nice.
No, mate.
World's a mad
And
place.
I saw one where it's like a herd of police officers walking through a crowd, and like it's on
A
the news, and
herd.
the guy it just kind of breaks one of the car windows. Like, but he tries to do it slyly, like to kind of add damage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this
But
this is what I was
it's
saying earlier. Is like there's people inciting riots that are being paid to do it by the government and police.
100%, yeah, 100%.
They're like, go start a riot so we can crack down on these protesters so they're not classed as peaceful anymore. And people
It's
are saying they're like, our protest was peaceful and then the police attacked us.
mm-hmm. Couldn't agree
I
more.
don't know.
It's a scary world at the moment, very scary,
Yeah.
and it's scary, but also intriguing to what's going to happen next. Because like this is kind of like a, it's going to sound funny. This sounds like a big season finale. You know, all the stories are coming together. We're
What
getting
of
all
the
the
world?
stories from like Madeleine McCann. Like we've got all these big issues, and there's gonna be like we're all born storytellers. There's gonna be a big climactic ending.
Yeah.
I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I can imagine it to be like a Game of Thrones-esque kind of episode. Like that's how I'm
Well,
kind of
apparently the
seeing
ending to
life at the
that was
moment.
really disappointing. So
Because like I've said it before, like it's just it's with the Black Lives Matter movement at the moment. No matter, unfortunately, no matter how hard they fight, racism's still going to live in the world because it's down to a personal belief. And yeah, the media needs to change its outlook and its
but they won't.
delivery on some subjects, but it's
But they
also
won't.
to every individual who needs to, even us to a degree, we need to be like, hey, are we even being unintentionally racist or discriminatory or everyone needs to look in. Just it's not about race, it's just being a nice fucking person.
Yeah, but
Obviously
it
at the
will never
moment
it
is
will never
about race.
change because the government don't want it to because they want to keep us separated.
100%, 100%, because as
And
we said,
like
we outnumber them.
we're also like kind of like pack animals. Like there is like herd mentality. Like
100%.
if the leaders are being racist, then a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, I should be racist too," because they're the ones in charge. They're right. They're leading us to the right place. Then people don't want to be like, don't want to go against the grain, but that's what we need to do.
We all need to start standing up and just, I don't know, just stop being cunts.
I think that's a good place to stop it. Don't be a
It
cunt.
it is by far our longest episode so far. So if you're still around, thank you very much for sticking with us. We hope you have peace and security within these troubling times. We hope the best for everyone. We hope the best for all black people, especially the Black Lives Matter movement, and we at Full Circle are fully behind it.
Hell
And
yeah.
let's find Maddie.
Yes. I've heard she's behind the subscribe button, so if you just press that, there she'll be. Or maybe one of the links in the description will lead you to Madeleine McCann. There's only one way to find out. Just click them links. Follow the pages
Uh,
they lead you to. If
Follow our
she if she if
Instagram
she com- if it comes out that she's about, damn right you'll hear about it here.
at the Full Circle Pod. Our Instagram just
Podcast.
recently hit 100 followers, so I'd like to thank every single one of you that's followed that account. We are at 125 followers now, and I hope to hit 200 followers by the end of the week. So if you're listening and haven't subscribed or followed, please, if you like us and like our content and want to see more fresh, original, raw content delivered by the two funniest cunts in the world, subscribe.
Follow us on Twitter because we only got 3 followers and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are Jamie.
See ya.